In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Rhodia Webnotebook. I'll go over the specs, I'll do a paper test, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this notebook coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. Also, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. This is the Rhodia Webnotebook. This is a hardcover A5 notebook with paper from Clairefontaine. If we look in the back here, we can see some of the specs here in French and in English. So it's thread-bound notebook. It's an A5 size. There are 96 dot grid sheets. This also comes in blank and ruled options as well. There's a ribbon notebook, a bookmark rather, expandable inner pocket, and it uses 90 GSM ivory brushed vellum paper made in Étival, Clairefontaine, France. So French design made in Morocco. So the book is put together in Morocco, but the paper comes from France. Okay, let's open it up. Move this little jacket here. So on the cover, we have a embossing with the Rhodia logo, a couple of trees here. It's an ugly logo. I don't like this, but there you go. Paste down the front here is black, and then we're right on our first page, but it does say down here, basically, that's the vellum brushed 90 GSM paper, and it's made in France by Clairefontaine. So, and then in the back, we can take a look. There's a pocket here, just a simple expanding pocket. There are no perforated pages in the back here. It's really just all dot grid paper, no special unique features. Now let's take a look at the paper test. So if we take a look here, the pilot, just a touch of feathering, not a lot. Tiny bit of feathering with the Mont Blanc, but not really, probably not even really worth mentioning. Where I do see some more feathering down here is with this Sailor Naginata Toga medium fine nib. That is a very wet nib, and I do see just it's a little bit of feathering there. But overall, on the face of the notebook, this looks pretty good to me. On the back, we do get bleed through. So we get bleed through from the Pilot parallel, the 6mm calligraphy pen. There's a touch of bleed through here on the Mont Blanc 149. In terms of other fountain pens, it's tiny bit of bleed through from the Sailor Safari in a fine, and quite a bit of bleed for the Sailor Naginata Toga medium fine. So, and then of course the Sharpie made it on the other page, but the Sharpie always bleeds. Staedtler permanent marker bled, and the Copic sketch bled, but those are expected, as did the Pilot oil drawing pen. Now, when I first got this notebook, I was expecting very good performance just because Rhodia and Clairefontaine, make famously fountain pen friendly papers. But I did not find the performance of this ivory Clairefontaine paper to be as good as what I got from a normal white. This, as just a comparison, this is a block Rhodia pad. Just their standard 80 GSM Rhodia paper. And if you look, just as a comparison, we do get more feathering, actually, on the Pilot parallel, but less on the other fountain pens here. And on the back, there's significantly less bleed. Like that Sailor Naginata Togi nib did not bleed through at all, and with the Pilot we just got a little bit of spotting. And that's just kind of the performance that I'm used to, whereas Here I got bleeding on, just more regular fountain pens. It's not bad. This is still totally um, usable. I would not use this Sailor pen, but the Lamy Safari, even the Mont Blanc 1 for 9, the oblique double broad nib. Um, I mean, there's some spotting, but it's really not too bad. So, in terms of paper performance, it's not as good as I expected, but it is pretty decent, I think. Now, as an example, this would be what the page looks like when you have writing on the back. You're not really getting a noticeable show through to the point where it's becoming super distracting. You can see here, but this was done with that Sailor Naginatogi nib. So yes, it shows up here, but down here with this Italic or Aurora Optima, it's pretty good. It's pretty easy to write on both sides of the page here, as you would kind of expect from a thicker 90 GSM paper. So that's paper performance. Let's talk about the binding. If we just go like this. So in terms of signatures, I count 12 signatures, which is pretty decent. Pretty flexible cover here. Yeah. It's because it's that stitched binding and you have those 12 signatures, lie flat is not an issue here. And let's see here. It's probably quite hard to see. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to see. There's a black headband here, but it is hard to see. One bookmark. The cover, I mean, I know I don't like this embossing, but the feel of this whatever, they say it's faux leather, but I mean, it definitely doesn't feel like leather, but it does feel nice and it is soft. One other quick thing, just it's useful to see the spacing on the dot grid, and it looks like about approximately a 5mm dot grid. So that's pretty standard size. I find for me, the more that I use the dot grid, I don't particularly like it, but it was exciting when it came out several years ago. What are my pros and cons for the Rhodia Webnotebook? Well, I think there's a lot to like here. The build quality is very nice. The material that they chose for the cover is kind of soft and squishy, and it feels very good. There are 12 signatures for 192 pages, and it's a stitched binding, so it lays very flat. So what are my cons? The paper quality was a disappointment. However, it is still better than most other notebooks out there. The paper can handle fountain pen ink. It's just when you start getting to really wet and wide nibs, you're going to get some feathering and you're going to get a little bit of bleed through. Not so much that you can't write on both sides, but that could certainly bother some people. And for me, someone that's used the white version of Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper for a really long time, it was a disappointment to see this poor fountain pen performance. The other thing I don't like is this logo in the middle of the notebook. The logo is ugly, in my opinion, and this is pretty much the worst spot for a logo too. It would have been better to put it on the back or down here maybe in the corner. I don't know, just big right in the middle of the cover. I don't like that. I would have preferred no logo, but it's a small gripe. That's pretty much it. This is a pretty good notebook for fountain pens. It's not the best, but the price is pretty good at $18, and you can find this notebook in a lot of different places. So that is the Rhodia Webnotebook. Do you guys have this notebook? Do you like this notebook? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. Thank you guys so much, and until next time.